How's it going, guys? I got a pick here in this week 3 matchup. Thursday night football. We got Dolphins facing off with the Bills. We got this game setting here in Buffalo. Right now, currently, I'm looking at the line. We got the line kind of bouncing around, but for the most part, what I'm seeing is minus 12, minus 11 halves, minus 12 and a half, anywhere from around that that area. We got Buffalo Bills at minus 900 right now, money line. So there's a lot of juice. There's a lot of things I could talk about during this game. I think most people are going to already know that Bills should win this game. Bills are the better team. I'm not going to come out here and go off the roster and what's the reason why this person's better than this person. I think we're pretty clear. I think most people understand that Bills are the better team and arguably one of the best teams right now, and Dolphins are looking the complete opposite, almost one of the worst right now, starting off 0-2, just really rough start. But I will point out a few things that I do think are interesting in this matchup. And one of the things that I do think is really interesting is just the Bills' dominance over the AFC East. We have the Bills being 25-6 the last 31 games in the AFC East. That's dominance right there. We have Sean McDermott, which is 15-2 against Miami, which is another crazy stat that just shows the dominance. And then we got Buffalo, which is 12-0 at home, one of the longest streaks that we've seen in this NFL history. Um, but then we look at last week's matchup. Sorry, last week. We look at last year's matchup, 2024. The first time they faced off, it was 31-10 in Miami. Bills won that by 21 points, pretty much smacked them around. And then you look at the second matchup last year, and you actually see a pretty close matchup, a 30-27, and it was actually a last-second Bills field goal to win the game. But like I said, 30-27, and this was actually at Buffalo. The last time they matched up currently, I believe it was in November. So we look at those two things. We obviously see that Bills beat them twice, obviously. But we also look at the fact that it was 30-27 the last time they faced. It's a different year, it's a different team, especially what we're talking about for Dolphins. But it is interesting because anytime we talk about division, it can become very close. It can become very something that's iffy, something that's almost a flip of a coin naturally just from being a division game. We seen last week the Browns and the Ravens. Ravens started off decently slow against the Browns, I believe. First quarter was pretty underwhelming. Ravens, I think, had a field goal. First end of the first half, it was decently close, but I think towards the second half is when we seen that, the dominance and kind of where that spread really was showing. I'm not sure if we'll see something similar to that here. I think it's just interesting the fact that, like I said, it's a division matchup, which always makes it a close, tight game already. If you look at the turnover ratio, it's a pretty big difference. We have Bills with 0 turnovers, but with one takeover, which I believe was an interception. And then we look at the other side, the Dolphins with four turnovers and the one takeover as well. But 4 turnovers is not good and not what you really want to see, especially when, like I said, you're facing a Bills defense that is really good at not turning the ball over, not making those mistakes. And when you allow the Bills to capitalize, that's just a big difference maker. Another big difference maker in this matchup is Joey Bosa facing off a rookie tight end and an inconsistent O-line in the Miami Dolphins. We seen him face off against the tight end matchup, actually a rookie as well in the Jets. And he actually had 2 forced fumbles. He has 3 forced fumbles just this season in general. I believe we're gonna see an old-fashioned same Joey Bosa that we're used to seeing. I think he's back. I think he's just as good as ever with his experience. And going up against a rookie is just not a good matchup. It's not really where you want to be as Miami, especially being 0-2, having injuries at the O-line. They have 3 injured at the O-line, 4 corners out, and 3 injuries at the O-line for Miami. Both kickers are on the injury reserve, but this is the first time Miami's kicker's going out there when we've seen Bill's kicker go out last week and week 1 as well. Not missing no extra points or field goal in general, which is a good sign for them. It's a tough one in the sense of that 12.5 because it's division, or that 12 points, whatever you're seeing. In that sense, I say it's tough because it's just a lot of points to give any team. But I think the few things that I do like is more of the early on first quarter. I really like Bills getting that odds down, taking them first quarter. The Dolphins have not scored 1 point in first quarter week 1 against the Colts. Week 2 against Patriots scored 0 points in that first quarter. And I think that we see the Bills coming out strong, hot, just like they do in every week 1, putting up a score in the first drive, in which we've seen Dolphins give Patriots 3 straight possessions with the score, and then we see them give Colts 7 straight possessions with the score as well. I can see Bills coming out there and making it 3-0 at the lowest, 7-0, even 10-0, even 10-3, 7-3, whatever the fact may be. I really like Bills taking this first quarter, taking the first half really. It could be a close matchup, kind of getting later towards the third quarter is usually super, not really explosive. They kind of start slowing down in third quarters. We might be able to see a touchdown in third quarter from the Dolphins, maybe a win actually from the third quarter from the Dolphins to try to keep that fourth quarter close. Obviously, we're still gonna have that fourth quarter that we really could pull ahead. So I really do think the Bills are going to win this matchup overall. I really do see them dominating this game. They're at home. I just think that 12 is just a little risky. I would rather see that line at 10, even though we've seen the Dolphins allow 33 points against the Colts, 33 points against the Patriots. That's a big difference. That's actually another one I like as well. If you look at the line that they're giving the Bills, they're giving them 30.5. Obviously, that half point's a little risky, but I think they're going to go over that 30 points in the Bills. Like I said, they gave 33 to Colts, 33 to Patriots. I just only see them giving up anything less when it comes to the Bills. Obviously, we're coming off a short week, so maybe a little bit less explosive. So wouldn't doubt if you do see the under. That's just one I like. But my big overall pick is definitely going to be the Bills. I definitely like a little sprinkle on the under. But if you're talking premium pick and something that I'm willing to lay my money down, I got the first quarter for the Bills at -145. I think that's money to me. Don't see this first quarter going any different besides the Bills coming out scoring first drive, whether it's a touchdown and a field goal. But Dolphins being able to struggle, are they going to be able to answer is the question. The biggest thing I want to be able to give you guys is this right here, which is we have the Bills, which are the best team on third down conversions when it comes to defense at just 25%, which are facing against the Dolphins, which is the second worst team on third downs on offense per side of things. That's a big difference when you see being able to keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. That's when you see a score get ran up. When you give the ball back to a player like Josh Allen, rather than being able to hold them, run the clock 4 or 5 minutes in a quarter, that's when you have those mistakes. So I see it being still low scoring under 50, just because the fact that I don't see too many points from the Dolphins, but I do see the Bills putting up a decent amount of scores. So like I said, first quarter, I like them. I like team total over. First half, points do feel a little bit iffy about, but definitely see Bills running up to score, making a high scoring one with just all the things I explained and went over. So like, comment, subscribe. Definitely tell me your picks. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, and I'll see you guys next time.